Greetings fellow traders, this is Max and welcome to my Sunday market analysis where I'm gonna analyze the market and share with you my top trades for the upcoming week. And in this week I have 6 pairs that are on my watch list with very beautiful setups, and I'm really excited to share those setups with you now. And I'm going to start here with Euro AUD. So on Euro AUD on the daily chart, if you are an experienced pattern trader or you are just really good at pattern recognition, then you will quickly notice that this is an inverse head and shoulders pattern. The normal head and shoulders pattern is usually a reversal pattern, and if it's inversed, the direction is also inversed. And if we look at this here, we have an inversed head and shoulders in an uptrend, so it's not a normal head and shoulders. If it was a normal head and shoulders, we could expect that price might head downwards for some time now, but since this is an inverse head and shoulders, so actually a bullish sign, not a bearish sign in this context, because usually it's considered to be a bearish reversal signal, we can consider this a continuation pattern. Now what we see here on the price chart is that generally on the weekly chart we are still in a very clean uptrend, and on the daily chart this applies too. As we can see here, we have this inverse head and shoulders pattern where we broke the neckline now, and now I want to wait for a retest of this neckline to then see my shifter structure, and then I would open a long position here on Euro AUD. This might take a couple days, but I will be patient and wait for price to come back into the area here, sweep some of the liquidity that's somewhere sitting around this area. We even have a round psychological level here, the 1.79 round psychological level, so I could expect price to get as low as that, but I want to watch closely here what the price is doing and then enter a buy position at the right time. So fairly simple and nice trade setup for me. So now let's talk about Euro GBP. So on Euro GBP, what we see at first glance here is we see a double top, and a double top is usually considered to be a reversal pattern as well. However, the breakout below, or the break of the neckline of this double top pattern, was relatively weak, and we can see this bullish engulfing daily candlestick here. So on the weekly chart even, we can see that we are in an uptrend. We broke several areas here, we had a pullback, and now the recent weekly candlestick closed quite neutrally. And this is for me the sign that I want to go to the lower time frames now, and what I can see here is that we had it's pretty much a fake out. Price reversed immediately off of this area, the round psychological level and this area of interest here. What's important to notice though is that on this daily chart we didn't really have a wick down here. It wasn't a really strong wick down, so that could be something to be concerned that price might want to continue to the downside. However, we had a similar thing here and it's still headed to the upside, so that doesn't have to be as big of a concern as it might look now. To get the best entry, I want to wait for price to form, first of all, on the weekly chart, form a wick down here. Who knows, maybe this week will actually be red or relatively neutral, and then only in 2 weeks we will head to the upside. However, if it will have a pullback and then a nice shifter structure here, and then it's giving me my long signal to buy Euro GBP, I am going to anticipate price moving higher and I will open a long position here. But I would really like to see price having a tiny pullback back into this area here again, and then give me a bullish buy signal before I open a position here. So this is the plan for Euro GBP, and now I will continue with GBP JPY. So on the weekly chart on GBP JPY, we can see we had a breakout here on the weekly chart, and we had this the week before. We actually had a really strong or really big weekly candlestick engulfing the last 2 weeks pretty aggressively. And now what I want to see is I possibly want to see kind of also a inverse head and shoulders pattern here. So I want to wait for a breakout now. Then the breakout has happened already, but I want to wait for price to come back into the area, sweep the liquidity, and then show me a shifter structure forming a right or left shoulder here on this potential head and shoulders pattern. I am waiting for that to happen and then open a long position here on GBP JPY, but it will heavily depend on the price action, so I will be patient and careful with this trade. But this is going to be the plan now on my side for GBP JPY. We are in a nice uptrend. However, it could also happen that we will have a bigger correction, but if price is acting similarly to the way that I am anticipating it to, then I will probably buy GBP JPY. The next pair is GBP NZD, and what has happened here is a breakout that I anticipated to happen quite early when I was in a long position here. However, it took its time for it to test this area, but eventually it broke above this level here. And my plan is to wait for the coming week to create a wick down, at the same time retesting this area, sweeping a bit of the liquidity, and then buy GBP NZD to profit off of that continuation move to the upside, because we had a resistance level here. We broke it. Now I want to see it turning into support. And if I get my entry signals here around this round psychological level, even the 2.27 round psychological level, then I will be interested in GBP NZD, and in specific a long position on GBP NZD. This is really beautiful. I really hope I will be able to profit off of that possible continuation to the upside, but patience is key to wait for price to come back down here and then give me my entry signal. The next pair is GBP USD, and what we can see here is that we had a head and shoulders pattern here, and I expected a break and retest with a continuation to the downside, which has not happened now. So I will now change the plan and wait for price to come back down into this area here, and even the round psychological level 1.34 round psychological level. I want to see price creating a shoulder of a potential inverse head and shoulders pattern here, which is then indicating a continuation to the upside here on GBP USD. If it's forming the pattern here and I am getting my buy signal and the shift of structure, then I am interested in opening a long position here on GBP USD, as the retest of this head and shoulders pattern has failed, and now price might continue to the upside up until this 1.38 round psychological level. So this is what I am waiting for now. I set my price alarm here, and it's key to be patient. And the final pair on my list is USD CAD, and this is actually only supposed to be some kind of trade update to one of my running trades. Right now the price movement is looking really bullish. We had the breakout here, the retest, and this is the part where I then, or actually a little later, where I decided to open a long position here on USD CAD. Last week we formed a really beautiful, strong and bullish engulfing candlestick here. Now we had a small retest, and now it totally looks like it could continue to the upside. If you look closely, we even have on the 4-hour here again an inverse head and shoulders pattern with a break, a retest, and now a possible continuation to the upside. And this is a really good sign for me and for this trade, in my opinion. And I shared the entry of this trade in my free Telegram channel, which you can join at any time. I will put the link to it into the video description. And in this channel I also share with you regular trade updates of my running trades and further trade ideas that are occurring during the week, if there are any. But that's it for today already. I'm really positive that this trade is going to be a successful one, and that USD CAD is going to climb higher now after this gigantic rejection. Signs are looking good. We had a break of this resistance area, which is now turning into support, and ultimately it could probably break through a lot more levels, but this is just going to take some time now. First profit target will probably be somewhere around this area here for me, or this round psychological level, 1.39 round psychological level. I've analyzed the other pairs on this general watch list here as well. I did not find any great setups that are suitable for this week for my trading strategy, so I will wait until price is triggering any alarms in certain areas that I am interested in, and if one of those alarms getting triggered, I will have a look at the respective pair again, and if I see a great trade idea, then I will share it in my Telegram channel. The link to it is in the video description, and you'll find the link to my other socials there as well. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below and I will try to answer your questions. Thank you for watching. I wish you a successful trading week. Remember to manage your risk properly, and see you next Sunday.